What is interpersonal communication? An interpersonal communication, put simply, the exchange of information among people, the sharing of ideas, thoughts, and feelings, and many without. An interpersonal communication can be done through verbally or non-verbal. It includes face-to-face exchange information, facial expressions, gestures, and the language of our body. The interpersonal communication skills is measured how effective is the transferring of messages to the others. There are 6 elements of interpersonal communication according to Martin 2020. First, the communicators. Simply, it is the receiver and the sender which exchanging their informations. Second, the message. This must be the most important in a conversation between the two people, the main thought that they've shared to each other. It is through speech, gesture, body language, or voice, time of voice. Third, noise. With the two communicators, we can't avoid the distractions, especially when the receiver is not attentive to the information that the sender convey. It includes the following: jargon, language barriers, and attention, and more. Fourth, feedback. It is when the receiver receives the message or information and it allows the sender if the message received or not. If the message is correctly interpreted. In the last part of the communication, this must be the important part aside from the message, the feedback. Fifth, context. It means the information should be contextual. The message is received and interpreted correctly. Lastly, the channel. The medium of communication or the passageway of the ideas on how the message perfectly delivered. When speaking to someone, it doesn't mean that it is perfectly shared or received the message. There are some problem or breakdown in the communication that might happen while communicating or interacting to other people. The following are the barriers according to Dode 2018. Language differences. The misunderstandings of communication based on the language. For example, slang, jargon, acronyms, and the industry terminology. Second, the cultural differences. The interpersonal communication may damage in lacking of understanding, bias, misinterpretation, and the stereotype beliefs of the cultures. Because as we all know, we have different cultures. So this can't be avoided, especially we have differences in terms of culture. Personality differences. It refers on individuals' differences, their characteristic patterns of thinking, feeling, and behave, and also how they behave. Personality differences. We have different attitudes, characteristics on how the way we act in a community or in our environment. Lastly, generational differences. The interpersonal communication may be damaged due to its generation gap praise. It is the opinions between one generation and other regarding beliefs, politics, or values, depending on how they dress, speech, and other preferences or priorities. If the interpersonal communication has its own barrier on communication, there are also tips and techniques on how we can improve our interpersonal skills. These are the following. To generalize, the interpersonal communications is very beneficial in the aspect of our life. Mainly, it interacts with other people and exchange each other informations. However, there are some misinformations or misunderstanding in delivering our messages, but in applying each tips and techniques, it would be a great help to